come on and to talk for a little bit, chit chat about this is the first day of summer. Happy summer. Summer vibes is here for all of my loved ones. And I wanted to say to all of you, make sure that you include yourself in your summer plans. It's the summertime, and usually a time where maybe if you have kids that are out of school, and during this time, it can be very stressful for all those who are parents or grandparents um, to make sure that even when you may have your children around or you have responsibilities, or even if you don't have children during your adulting times, that you're making sure that you're making time for you. And it's something that I had to learn being an adult, that while kids get breaks, us as adults, we need breaks. Ladies, you need your summer breaks. And gentlemen, you also need your summer breaks for your mental health, for your self-care, for your self-love. It's no time like the present, and making like yourself have that time, make space, make room, and make time for yourself. And it does not have to be expensive things. It doesn't mean you have to spend hundreds of dollars on going to spas or events and to do things that you can't afford. But there's free things or affordable things that we can do throughout the summer for our self love, for our self care, for our mental health, for our peace of mind. And I just wanted to come on and to share a few of them that I have been thinking about doing for the summer, because when I was in therapy, and we always used to talk about, learning to put your own oxygen mask on. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't put on your own oxygen mask, nobody's going to do that for you. And it's something that I had to learn to not feel guilty that I prioritize myself. Don't feel guilty that you prioritize yourself. And have some standards, and set some things up for yourself throughout this summer, things that you want to do. Maybe, you know, going to a certain venue, maybe going to a festival, a park, a hike, a boat ride, going for a long walk, going for a long drive, a road trip, just some time where it's just you enjoying yourself. I want you to think about some of those things and make a list, ladies. Hi, Shahil. How are you? And make a list of some things that you want to do for your self love and your self care. It doesn't matter if you're 18 years old or you're 90 years old. We each, as either women or as men, need our own me time for our overall wellness. This is the reason why we burn out, we get sick, we go through too many things in our life, because we're not allowing ourselves the time, the space for solo time. And really, I've been learning that I need to distance myself from my phone, take my phone and put it away. Those of you who are old enough, hi Chris, how are you doing? The those of you who are old enough understand about the times where there wasn't even cell phones. Remember when you had to use a house phone, a landline? So that is something that I'm trying to do more, not just during the summer, but for my life. That yes, there are times where I do need my phone, but do you need to be on your phone all day? I think scrolling all the time is not good for our mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. So, throughout this summer, try to think of some ways that you can detach from your phone or your devices and do some great things for yourself. They have workshops for your personal enrichment, for your empowerment. There's classes that we can take. You can get into doing some wonderful activities. Hi, Sirius. How are you doing? Welcome. Happy Friday and happy first day of summer to all of the loved ones. I hope you all have an amazing summer, and it's going to be full of so many great, peaceful, and self enriching things. That's what I'm trying to work on this summer, is not just having the summer come and go and it's just spending time with loved ones while that's important, but narrowing off, finding space, making room, making time for ourselves. It's so valuable. It doesn't have to be hours of time, it could be 10 minutes in the morning. It could be taking 30 minutes to go for a walk, or making sure you're prioritized going to the gym or journaling. Whatever it is, I want to put out there to everybody. Hi, everything, Bella. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Sarah says, how are you today? My day is going fantastic. Mine as well. Thank you so much, Sirius. It's so good to hear that. I love to hear when all of my loved ones are in a good space, in a good mental space, emotional space, because it takes time to become that. And I've come from a very toxic environment and situations, and it took a lot from me to unlearn that toxicity and to not feel guilted into being everything for everyone and to always putting myself last. Ladies, gentlemen, stop putting yourself last. Put yourself as on the top of the list and not at the bottom, or not even making the list, because that's something for many of us. We don't even put ourselves on the list because of guilt, or we do not have the right priorities. We put others, you put your relationships, you put money or your job or other people, other things, and it clouds out. It causes us to not be balanced in taking care of ourselves and being empowered and loved and strong. And these are all the things that I want for each and every one of my loved ones here on this channel. This channel that I have is dedicated to having the conversations about how really are we doing in our self-care, our self-love, our emotional healing from anything that happened to us traumatic. And I don't care what anybody has to say. People say, oh no, I'm good and fine, but everybody has things that they're always going to be in the process of healing and pushing it to the background and focusing on the present. But it takes work. Siri says, I'm looking forward to an awesome summer. I'm planning a vacation. I haven't decided where. I'm looking at several places. One is Florida. Oh, awesome, Sirius. I hope you have a great time, and I know you will. So I'm so grateful that you're able to do that. And for Sirius, that's taking a vacation. For another, it may be putting your children in daycare, or allowing your children to stay somewhere else so that you can get your own me time and to not feel guilty about that. See, for many years, following behind the entertainment world, or the way that we've been taught to think that we always go last, right? As moms and dads, aunties and uncles, as human beings, to always put everybody ahead of us, right? But if you're always putting everybody ahead of you, who's going to say it's time for you to take care of yourself? See, it's not balanced. And about 7 years ago, no, 8 years by now, I went about unlearning the toxicity, making a new narrative for myself, learning to speak over my life, empowering myself. And through that process, I have Got into having this channel. I've got into life coaching, motivational speaking, encouraging other people, mentorship, and just giving back to others. I think that it's important, whatever you do, you need to do some things that makes you feel good. For me, I love to give and help other people. I know that sometimes it may be letting yourself sleep. You know, your physical body needs restful sleep, not just sleeping 3 or 4 hours and you jump up and you hit the ground running again. I mean, restful sleep. Like you wake up and you like, oh, I slept so good. I feel restored. I mean, giving yourself that permission to get a hotel room if you need to. If your home environment is not peaceful and quiet, sometimes you do need that as a mom, a dad, an auntie, an uncle, a friend. Get away from everybody, turn your phone off, and have your day to sleep in, to get room service, to go to the beach or a hike or get involved in some activity that is just for you. And that is something that I had to learn. Every summer, I give myself 4 day trips because I'm not a rich person. I can't afford to do things like outside of my means of living right now, and I'm not going to do anything and put it on a credit card. I'm going to do what I can afford. And that's something that I always recommend to everybody. Don't try to do things to look good to other people, to make your siblings or other people have a nod of approval. You know your bank account, okay? So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, within your budget, with what you can afford, do something for you. I found some wonderful Airbnb right on the beach for very affordable prices. I found hotels from some of these companies that do those things. Like if you get it the day before, the night before. I guess maybe if they had cancellations, you get this low price. So it's a lot of things that we can do for ourselves. And sometimes it just may be maybe you just calling into work that day because maybe your mental health is not okay. Maybe your kids have stressed you out. Maybe your spouse, significant other has really drive you crazy, right? And we all know about those things when you're in a relationship and it's just the demands, the demands, the demands, and you're human. Everybody gets tired of it sometimes. So you got to give yourself the permission to get away and to have a day just by yourself. And I do that from time to time. I take that day off and I don't tell anybody I took the day off. I take that day off, and when everybody's going to work and they're like, have a good day at work, and I was like, okay. And I go off and I go and I stay at my little thing and I have my day. I go to the steam room. I sit in the steam room and then I go to the pool. I'll take a walk on the beach and get myself something for lunch and go to the library, hit the gym, and then go back home and go to sleep or stay in a hotel for a whole day and just get that peace and quiet to be able to sleep without someone having to call your name, right? So it's just something to think about. I want to give all of my loved ones some homework this summer to do something to prioritize your mental health, prioritize you, pour into you, whether it's booking a hotel stay or taking a long drive, going for a hike, go for a walk, go and enjoy yourself in some water activity, the beach, the pool, the lake. Maybe it's going fishing. Everybody has different things, that hobbies that they enjoy, things that they like to do. Do something and pour into yourself this summer. We usually think about the summer as being family oriented and going for a trip with, your romantic interest and your kids. or friends or whoever, but I want to recommend some solo things, some solo adventures, you know. Do something maybe that you've never done that is outside of maybe what maybe your family would want you to do or would like to do. I had to learn to start doing those things while my family was away. They're at work, they're at school, they're at camp, they're at this person's house or that person's house. That's the perfect opportunity for you to be able to do something all by yourself, and you don't have to worry about rushing through it. You can sit and linger. Like, I love to go to museums and be able to take my time and to read things and look at things, and then go get a nice drink and sit there, and then have a book and be able to go somewhere with a beautiful view and just enjoy that and take in some sun, go for a peaceful walk on the beach. It's a lot of things that we each can do to pour into ourselves. Sarah says you have to take some time for yourself. You need to reset, recharge, and realign your mindset in order to regain control in your life. Yes. Oh my goodness, that is so important. And I didn't get that part, I didn't see that growing up. I had the type of mother that, coming from a big family, and, she did the best that she could. I don't fault her for that. But way back in the day, it was just, you're supposed to do it all. And you don't win any awards by doing everything. One of the best things that I learned from therapy is depend on your tribe, ask for help. If you're feeling sad or discouraged, call somebody, say, I'm feeling discouraged, and then allow yourself to talk about it. It will free your mind. It will raise your spirits. It will give you the strength to continue on. But many times we stuff that down. We push it down. We lie to ourselves and tell ourselves we're okay, or I'm too busy and I can't afford things. Look, a lot of times we say we can't afford things, but then we'll find $30 to $40 to get some takeout. If you could afford $30 to $40 for takeout, you can afford $30 to $40 to do something for yourself. Okay? I honestly wanted to come on and to say that throughout the summer, think of something that you want to do for once a month, something that you can do maybe next week for the to round off June, and then have another activity that you want to do for July, just for you. I don't mean including anybody, not a friend, not a spouse, not a boyfriend, not a girlfriend, not anybody. Solo time, loved ones. You got to pour into yourself first. You have to be okay. Mind, body, and spirit, okay? You got to be okay. So, just some gentle reminders, just some positive support, some encouragement for you to start the wheels turning in your mind. What can I do for me this summer? I want you guys to think about it. And then next week, Friday, when I come back around this same time, I'm going to ask you, what did you guys think about? What did you do? Okay, so we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to share something that I did for the beginning of my summer. What I'm going to do, probably, I believe, on Wednesday, I'm going to do something that is time just for me, solo time. So think about some solo summertime things that you want to do for yourself. And then we will connect back next week, Friday, and talk about it a little bit more and encourage one another. Support is here, ladies. Support is here, gentlemen. Support is here to all of the young people, the older people, and everybody in between. We all need love. Hey, Realist, how are you doing? Welcome. Yes, Sirius, absolutely. Yes, we all need love. We all need support. We all need encouragement, okay? And throughout this summer, we need to be thinking about, what can I do for myself? I have a few things that I want to talk about on next week, but I'll share a little bit. for my solo time, I have a few books and that I'm going to be reading. I have 3 books that I want to read this summer, and it's a repeat. It's books that I read to get myself geared up for the new year that's going to start in January. Some things that maybe I have not done like I've wanted to, and some things that I can tighten up on, and some other things that I can encourage myself that I am doing a great job. And I wanted to say that to all of my loved ones. Remember to encourage yourself. What you're doing great at. Tell yourself that I'm doing a great job at X, Y, and Z. And the things that you're not. Ask yourself, why am I not doing those things? What is standing in the way for me receiving those things, that support, whatever it is that I want? Am I standing in my own way? Are other people standing in my way of that? Am I listening to other people? Do I make it seem like I have to have this perfect situation or this certain amount of money to be able to do X, Y, and Z when you don't? See, it's all about mindset shifting and empowering yourself, loved ones. See, we have to be empowered first before we can live an empowered life. And I can tell you that my shift in my life has gradually grown. Like my healing, my love, my friendship, you know, my positivity, how I show up in life, my spirit, my energy, my vibe, my joy, my peace. All of that is tied into me allowing myself to connect with myself and to have my own self as my own best friend. See, in this life, because it's so busy and flawed and it's so much evil going around, and jealousy and negativity, that you're so busy trying to survive. I understand that grind because I'm in it too. You're trying to survive. You're just trying to make it. You're trying to do the best that you can. But at the end of the day, that job don't care. They'll just get rid of you. People who are asking you to do all these things, at the end of the day, you got to be here for yourself. You have to be healed. You have to be happy. You have to have peace. And you need to ask yourself, why don't I have the things that I want? Am I standing in my own way? It's just some food for thought. Serious, that's good for you, Marlene. You have been giving me great ideas to include in my spare time. Awesome, awesome. Yes. And I will always share more. I always do a deeper dive with my channel members. So I will be sharing some more of those things with the channel members. But as well, I will share some things on the surface level with the public. But I did want to give you guys encouragement. See, when I get fed, when I become empowered, I can feed, I can empower. And I believe that it's important to plant, to feed, to water, and then to harvest. And then you in turn can plant, can water. It's when I drop seeds, then you get an implant in your mind, in your heart. Hey, I think I could do better than this. And then when you feel restored and have peace and joy, you become a different human being. How you show up at your job now is going to be different. How you deal with your romantic person is going to be different. How you deal with your kids, if you have kids, or with your relatives. When you take care of yourself, you're going to show up differently to other people. Your energy is going to be different. And people have asked in the past 6 months or so and say, Marlene, your energy is different. Yeah, my energy is different because I'm choosing me. And whoever thinks it's selfish, that I'm unreachable at times, that's their problem. I have to be okay with me first. You don't win any prizes by wearing yourself thin, having mental breakdowns. And all people are going to do is say, you should have took better care of yourself. All the job is going to say, okay, I guess we have to replace you. you got to think about yourself. Sirius says a lot of people stay in survival mode. That's when they burn out quickly. Isn't that the truth? That is so true, Sirius. Hey, Miss Nexie, how are you doing? Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. Happy first day of summer to all of my loved ones. So, it's just some things that I was thinking about. There's some books that I'm going to be reading. Like I said, I have 3 books that I read every summer. I'm going to talk about it a little with my channel members, and I may share the books that I'm reading with the public, but I'm going to go into an in-depth with my channel members with some things. So I wanted to say that, throughout the summer, empower your mind, ladies. Empower your minds, gentlemen. You got to love yourself, and it's more than just the words of saying that you love yourself. And that's a wonderful thing. Don't get me wrong, don't discount it, because yes, we must speak that out loud and say we love ourselves, but it's more than just saying the words, I love myself. It's what are we listening to? What are we allowing our minds to be fed on? What kind of energy do we have surrounding us? Is it positive energy? Is it supportive energy? Is it peaceful energy? Or is it draining? Are people subtracting from you? See, if people are not adding, if they're not making deposits into your life, they're going to drag you down. They're going to break you down. They will make you angry and miserable. And at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to have to deal with the consequences of that. See, I don't want any of you loved ones to go through what I went through. It's not an easy thing for me to talk about, but about, 2016, after my dad had passed away, my way of coping with that trauma of losing my father from cancer was I poured myself into everything. I worked all these hours. I was doing everything for everybody. I was all over the place because I didn't want to stay still enough to feel the pain that I felt. I didn't want to talk about those things. And when everybody would see me and they saw like I was going, they was like, oh, okay, I guess Marlene's okay. But I wasn't. So if there's anybody who's like me, that you're just a person to go, I'm telling you, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. And you gotta stop for yourself before you have a mental breakdown like I had. Yes, serious. Women and men empowerment. I want all of you to be empowered. That's what this channel is about. This channel is all about love. And the more and more that I think about some things, I'm becoming more and more clear about the direction where I want to go with this channel. And I really want to talk more and more about how we can love ourselves better and self-healing and not being ashamed to have those conversations, because a lot of times when I talk to my male loved ones, I get some emails sometimes and they'll say, oh, I listen to your live streams. I watch the sip and chat. I pay attention to some of your videos, and I guess they feel kind of guilty saying, as a man, that you're not really taught how to love yourself. And I could say, as a woman, we're not really taught how to love ourselves. It's just, we know we should, right? So if you don't have it in your life, or your version of love that you saw wasn't what you wanted it to be, the good news about it, loved ones, is that we can change our lives. We don't have to be miserable. Whoever hurt you, disappointed you, took advantage of you, anybody that has unhealthy habits and doesn't know anything about boundaries, they don't respect you, you are the one that has to draw a line in the sand. And I mean that literally. Sometimes you literally have to say, you can't come any further. Nope, you can't come over to my house. No, no, you can't borrow my money. No, I'm not going to show up for you anymore because I got to put myself first. And it's something that you have to retrain, maybe your kids, a spouse, significant other, friends, a job, that yes, I am taking a day off. Like in the beginning, it may be shocking for people when they see that you start, oh, they got their hair done now. Or, oh, look, they're dressing themselves a certain way. As maybe you, not that you were looking disheveled, but now you look more like you are elevating the way you treat yourself. You're paying more attention to how you look and how you feel and your energy. It's called self-awareness. And you have to be aware of yourself. You got to be aware of your situation and don't lie to yourself. I had to really work hard to not only think that, but to believe I deserve that. How I grew up that you're supposed to be a soldier. You're supposed to be a warrior. You're not supposed to complain about things. You do things for others, and that is what fulfills you and makes you feel good. That yes, I do agree in helping other people and showing up for other people. That's wonderful. I love to give back and help other people, but it should not come at the cost of subtracting from you and making you feel weak, making you feel less than, making you feel like, well, I have nothing going on in my life that's just for me. And I wanted to say that to everybody. We're going to be talking more and more throughout these discussions with the Sip and Chat. We're going to start be doing some interviews over here and talking about certain topics and things like that. But I want to talk about things in real time. Like how can we learn how to love ourselves? What can we actively be doing to not only say it, but to prove it to ourselves? Because I love myself, I do X, Y, and Z. Okay? Because I love myself, I don't allow X, Y, and Z. And we're going to be talking about that more so through live streams and videos and future podcasts and interviews. So look forward to seeing that coming up after the summer starts. Okay? Sirius says, your inspiring messages are reaching out over the airwaves. You are an amazing motivational speaker. Thank you so much, Sirius. I really appreciate it. Sirius says, Marlene, your life experiences resonate with many people that's afraid to come forward due to embarrassment or simply because it's simply because they suppress it. And that's one of the things that I love about, and I forget to say this sometimes, but I do have an email if you guys have some things that you want to ask. And of course, you remain anonymous. I'm not going to say your name or anything like that, but I do have an email, and my email is bestlifecrew@mail.com. BESTLIFECREW@mail.com. So if you guys have like something, like a topic you want me to talk about, because this channel, honestly, when I came up with the name Love Marlene 411, I don't know, one day it just came to me. And I think it was because I needed to learn to love me better. And I think that trickles down because I'm loving myself better. I can speak on it. I'm not reading this in a book. I'm not looking on Google or any, search engines about how to love yourself better. I'm talking about what has helped me in real time, what has helped some of my clients in coaching, and what has helped my friends and loved ones, in general. Because I think that it's so important to talk about how we are feeling. And I want to say this, and I feel like it's a virtual hug to all of my loved ones. It's a virtual hug to all of your hearts. You're important. You have value. Treat yourself as such. I want you to take time and really reflect on that if you can at some point this weekend or in your quiet time. How can I love myself better? How can I heal myself more? How can I do more for me? And I want to encourage somebody that maybe has been putting off some sort of dream, some talent, some gift, something you've been wanting to do for a long period of time. This is your encouragement. I encourage you to find a way to awaken your dreams. Find a way to put yourself back on the list and put yourself high on the list. Maybe you can't be first, especially if you have little ones, but maybe put yourself in the top 5 at least, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, James. How are you doing? And that's one of the things about this life is you got to take care of home. You got to take care of yourself as a woman. You got to take care of yourself as a man. You got to take care of your mental health. And you have to work on trauma healing. That's what I want this channel to be about so much, is doing more and more profound trauma healing, like how we can get all the way down from deep inside of us, things that really, like something that stabbed you in the back, something that broke your heart in a million pieces, something that you weren't expecting to happen to you, and it did happen. See, we got to heal those things. Not that it's going to go away or it's going to undo it, but I want us to be on that solid ground that we can walk with our heads up high, with our minds empowered, feeling strong and victorious, and can speak over our own life. I love myself just because I exist. Hey, James Money, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you're doing well. I honestly didn't plan this live stream, but I felt compelled. You guys know, who have been around my channel long enough, anytime my spirit speaks to me and says, talk about it, I talk about it, because I don't know who needed to hear this message or these messages, but I did want to say happy summer. Be encouraged. Take care of yourself. And find 3 or 4 things. That's the assignment to all of my loved ones. Find 3 or 4 things that you can do for yourself this summer. Maybe you do 1 thing per month. You have 1 thing that you do maybe next week to round off June. You got 1 thing that you're going to do in July, August, and then September. So we're going to work on those things. So you guys think about it, meditate about it, think about what you can afford. And then when we reconvene next week, I want to hear some of those answers. You know, Marlene, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to school. Or I think I'm going to go to a workshop. I think I'm going to go to a spa. I'm going to go and get my hair done. It doesn't have to be big things. It could be something small as, you know what? I'm going to leave work early so I can go home and sleep for 3 or 4 hours before my kids come home. Maybe that's something that you would never have done before, but you will do now because I just dropped a seed of empowerment on you. Let's be empowered, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Okay? Yes. So maybe leave work for a few hours early. Now, don't say Marlene caused me to get fired. I mean, if you know you can leave for 3 or 4 hours early. Take a half a day. Go in early, and then you can leave a little early. Or if you can't afford to, take a day off if you have some PTO hours, or take that road trip, that vacation. Go to a library, get yourself some books, listen to audiobooks, but do something positive for yourself so that you can take a virtual emotional healing vacation. See, your mental health is so important. And without telling you guys too much, I wanted to say that I'm going to be having some audio books that's going to be coming out soon, that you can, audiobooks, and some other things that you can buy. And I'm working on that behind the scenes. Like, I already don't have a million things to do, but I'm working on that. So, like, series like this, topics that I talk about like this, that is going to be available for you to buy, and you can download it and listen to it over and over again. So I'm working on that and getting some things together. I'm trying to find a streaming service so that I can start selling my podcast and selling some other things outside of this Red app. So that's coming. It's coming down the pipeline. I got some things that I'm working on, you guys, because when I tell you guys that I love you so much, you guys have no idea. There are times where I don't want to get out of the bed because I'm feeling so discouraged, but I get out of bed because I have people that depend on me. You guys are my reason to get up. You encourage me and you empower me every single day. And I promised myself that I was always going to be a good example to you guys. I'm proud of each and every one of you that has enough courage to choose yourself today, to remove yourself from emotional, mental, spiritual, and financial darkness and step into the light. Don't dim your light. Elevate your mindset, shift your mindset, and give yourself the permission to do something for yourself today and throughout this summer. This is Love Marlene 411. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope this message was powerful, give you some food for thought. It was encouraging. I applaud every single one of you. Ladies, applaud for yourself. Clap for yourself. Be a cheerleader for yourself. Advocate for yourself. Gentlemen, I'm proud of my strong men. We need more of you. We need our strong men that know how to speak up for themselves, that are healed and positive. Empower your minds, gentlemen. You are valuable. And to all of you, love yourself. Because when you love yourself, that love can trickle down to everybody you encounter.